Before me, I have two rulebooks. Today we'll be focusing on the Children of Eriu core rulebook for the character creation. If you are interested in the character creation that is found in the core rulebook, we do have another video that will be linked in the details below. Moving into Children of Eriu, character creation is very straightforward. For the first one is you need to ask your GM, what level will my character be? Levels 1 through 7 in the Fate of the Norns Ragnarok system are actually reserved for the nobodies of the world, the extras walking around in the background, the farmers, the merchants. Heroes will start between levels 8 and level 12, which is our recommended starting level. So when you find out what your level is, you can consult page 198, where we end up talking about levels 8 and onwards in terms of what your possible essence and destiny are. Now, essence are the runes in your bag, and they're going to map to your skills, abilities, talents, life path, all of that. Destiny is your effect that you can cause on the world around you, and mechanically that's the number of runes you draw from your bag. Now, the really quick math in terms of deciding how many essence and destiny you can have per level is to buy an essence costs you 1 level, and to buy a destiny costs you 2 levels. If you look at level 8, you have an option of having 4 essence and 2 destiny, or 6 essence and 1 destiny. All right, so for this character, we're just going to go with the 4/2. It'll be just quicker to go through all of the steps. The next thing that you need to do is figure out how you want to draw the runes. So there's 3 ways to do it. You can be completely random, where you take a full bag of runes, reach in, pull out 4 runes, and those are your runes for your character. And the colors, red is physical, blue is mental, green is spiritual. So the more that you're going to have of a certain color, the better you're going to be at those types of skills and activities. One of the options, which is kind of the middle of the road, is to allow each player to choose 3 of their 4 runes. So they can say, you know what, I want 1 red, 1 blue, 1 green in my bag minimum, and then I'll choose the rest at random. And then the other way is to really go the Care Bear route, which is let the players choose all of their runes. When you're drawing your runes at random with the first or second option, you're going to be determining your character's life path and characteristics. There's everything here from personalities and motivations, to your early life table, to your brushes with power. So as you're growing up, who you've crossed paths with. You do dweller relationships table, where you're going to end up figuring out what your relationships are with everyone else at the game table. And this ends up building party cohesion. This is a very good idea to have, whether you're using this table or if players are making up their own reasons for traveling together. Always get that kind of anchor between the players. This is going to reduce your lone wolf syndrome, splitting the party, and people just playing solo when it should be a co-op endeavor. Then you've got your social connections table. So these are your relationships and characteristics and life path tables. Choosing your archetype. Now, when you choose your archetype, Children of Eriu, I think we have like 6 or 8 archetypes, mortal and immortal. So if we're going to grab one of these mortal ones, we can choose a Fianna. Fianna are like wandering nobles, are landless, so they're basically forced to adventure and find their fame and fortune otherwise. You've got 3 specializations, and these specializations are going to be bound to your void rune, which is a blank rune. But we're going to talk about that after. The very first thing is we're going to look at these 4 tables. And so there's an active powers table, there's a skills table, there's a social talents table, and there's a passive powers table. What's new in difference in terms of what Children of Eriu brings is social combat. And so this is why you see a 4th table for the archetypes called social talents. Now, all of the tables work the same way. 4 runes, you start in the middle, and you can bind to any of the 4 cardinal directions. So I could say, I want attack from above, throw stone, run to shadow, and let's take uncanny ambush. By binding these runes, this is what you're going to end up writing down on your character sheet. That this symbol equals uncanny ambush, and you'll do the same for the other 4 runes. And then what you're going to do is move down to the social talents. You can do the same thing. You're going to say, you know what, I want maybe verbal manipulation, negotiate, shut your mouth, laugh it off. And then you would do the same thing. Take the symbols, write down the abilities, and then that's how your character sheet is filling out. And you're going to do the same thing for skills and passive powers. So any square that you can unlock with its subsequent rune, the next adjacent cardinal directions. If you notice, each one of these runes has a trait. This one's red, this one's green, so physical, spiritual. The runes have also been bound to each rune to 1 active power, 1 passive power, 1 social, and 1 skill. So now this is what we need to do, going back to the specialization table. And when you look at the specialization table, you're going to take your void rune and say, okay, if I want to be a hobilar, which is the physical specialization for the Fianna, this rune becomes red, physical, and then you get this active power bound to it, this social power, this skill, this passive power, and you even get equipment loadouts in terms of how your character will start. And if you need to look up any of your powers, all of that begins on page 342, starting with active powers, social, skills, and passives. Choosing your Disser level. And your Disser level is going to be determined by your player level. Disser are family spirits, ancestral spirits that make sure that your family is successful and cohesive, something that the Skalds will be singing about in the future. So as your Disser level goes up, you're going to get more and more options during character creation that open up to you in this chapter. And it's a pretty thick chapter now in Children of Eriu in terms of how many party unlocks you can have with this level. But we're going to